Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, I'm Jerry Byrne. Now, since the start of the lockdown, I was speaking to many of the great and the good and the talented, and boy, what an incredible amount of talent Ireland has produced over the years. I've got a gentleman who's been involved in music his entire lifetime. He's performed live, also done numerous session work and recordings and all the rest of it. Worked with some of the biggest and the best names and bands across Ireland right throughout that lifetime. I'm delighted to say hello to top-class musician and also singer and entertainer John McHugh. John, how are you?
Oh, Jerry, nice to talk to you. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
A real pleasure. John, tell me this. How did you become involved in music in the first place?
Well, my dad, you see, many years ago, before he ever married my mother, he used to have a Kelly band up in Castleberry, County Tyrone, and he played a bit of Kelly band drums, right? So he was always interested in music. He wasn't a brilliant drummer. He was Kelly band drummer, not really country and western, but anyway, he got me interested when I was about 4 years of age. I used to watch television, black and white TV at home here, and it was Ross Conway used to be on the television playing piano, and a woman called Mrs. Mills. When I was about 3 or 4 years of age, I decided I liked the piano music, right? So anyway, when my dad went out and bought this old piano, he gave 25 quid for it, and I started playing piano on my own, just pressing the keys down. I was only a child, like I was only 4 years of age. And by the time I was about 6 years of age, I was starting to play all wee bits of tunes on my own by ear, right? So then my dad then decided to take me to piano lessons. So I went to a guy here in Strabane, and he started putting me through the grades, teaching me how to read music and to play the music properly, piano properly. And it just went from there. And then from there, my father decided to start a wee group. And when I was about 10 years of age, myself and my dad had a wee group, and he played drums with us. But he wasn't really tuned into the music we were playing, because we wanted to play American country, and we wanted to play American Irish country, and my dad really wasn't that type of drummer. He played a bit of Kelly band drums, you know. So we decided to get another drummer in the band, and my father looked after the did some of that for us, and we started off just playing around with small bars and that type of thing.
That's excellent, absolutely excellent. So obviously the music was totally steeped and ingrained in you from an incredibly young age.
Oh yeah. And as you say, like, and then I started to learn other instruments, you know. I started learning guitar, I play trumpet as well, and I play accordion.
Right, that's superb. You also do, currently you play keyboards and...
Yeah, I play keyboards and I play trumpet, I play guitar, I play bass guitar, I play accordion.
Right. Now
I've got, you know...
You've been with a huge amount of bands. I mean, you played with some of the top names in Ireland.
Well, the first band ever I played with would have been a gentleman who's dead, God rest him, Sean Dunphy. He had a cabaret band. I joined them when I was about 14. And I was living in Dublin with a fellow from Strabane, a guitar player, and his wife. But I only stayed there for a few months, and I came back home. And then I couldn't hack it, you know, living on my own, away from home, like I was only 14. Jerry, I was a bit young to be going away from home, you know. So then I joined up with Frankie McBride and the Polka Dots in 1973.
Right.
And we went to America. We played in Dirty Nelly's in Fordham Road in the Bronx that year. I was 16 when I went out there to play with him right there.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, that was, as you say, you're very, very young. I mean, to move to Dublin at just 14.
Yeah. I was living with a guitar player, him and his wife. She was a singer from Dublin called Helen Jordan, good singers. And she was married to a fellow who played guitar in the band. And I stayed with them for the 4 or 5 months, and then I decided to come back home, and I just couldn't hack it, you know.
Yes, not surprised. I mean, that young age was a very different scene. Now, you went with Frankie McBride, the Polka Dots. These were big acts. I mean, you were very, very young at that stage, you know, to be going out touring America and going out with a band of that caliber.
Yeah. When I got to America, when I was 16, I met a guy called Dermot Henry. I'm a Virginian, your part of the country. He was from Cavan, and he came to America. He was starting a show band, and he offered me a job with him to stay out there and play in his band out there. But my own father at home here wasn't very well at the time, and that's the reason I didn't take the job with him. You know, I said I got to go back home again. Like, I can't stay out here all the time because my dad wasn't well at the time. You know, so I decided to come back home.
Right. And then how long after that did you spend with Frankie McBride?
Well, I was with Frankie 2 or 3 different times. I'd left him and went back to him a few times. Like, I joined up with a band then called American Pie.
Yes, indeed. Remember.
And I sang in that band myself for about a year and a half, and then I went on to play with Film in the Bible and the Random Men after that.
Right.
And I went from there. I was played the Big Tom for 4 years. I lived in Castlemilly for 4 years. Played with Dominic Kerman. Played with Lit Johnny Lowery. I played for 10 years off and on with Sean Cuddy. I played with Gene Stewart and Homesteaders.
Right. You also...
It goes all Eddie King and the Country of Gifts. Quite a few bands.
Right.
At the time, all right.
You also played, I believe, for a period of time with Margot.
Yeah, I played with Margot, yes. I played with Margot for about a couple of years, yes. And I played with Joe Murray and the Travellers for a while. With Joe Murray, he started the band after Big Tom, left the Travellers, go back to the Millionaires. Kevin McCreary put the band up on the road again with Joe Murray. I played guitar with them.
Right. I remember the times well. That's a tremendous experience, John, that you've got on from a very, very young age, as I say, on stage, and you've been with such a wide variety of acts.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. I saw a big part of the world. Like, I was out playing out in Catskill Mountains. I was playing on the cruises there. I done some of them cruises, Caribbean cruises.
Right.
And we done Canada one time, Toronto. Played out in Toronto as well.
That's excellent. Now, tell me this: you've also done a huge amount of studio work and session work.
Oh, I did a recording with a fellow there called Percy Robertson. He's a good steel player from Donegal, and I've been recording him for about 45 years. And we've done a lot of recordings for all the different singers, down through the years.
Indeed, so
a lot of stuff,
Yes, you also did recordings with the late Johnny Lockray, just to name one.
Yes, Johnny was a Tyrone, God rest him, he's a Tyrone man. He was from Newton Stewart, and I done a lot of the early albums for him. In fact, I done the old photographs. I picked a lot of the songs that Johnny recorded as well. And Johnny recorded about 6 albums up there, and then he moved down to Moat to record down then with Roseland. Very good studio down there too, and he was down there recording a leather part of his life.
Right. No, you've also done your own 2-piece and 1-man shows as well.
Yeah. Well, then about 13 years ago, I started a 2-piece band of my own, being my partner, a 2-piece band, and we played about over in England quite a bit, around the wee small clubs, wee Irish clubs,
Right, and that also went extremely well.
Well, it went all right. Yes, it wasn't bad, but the Irish scene has gone down now, as you know yourself, recently in the last few years. The old Irish people in London and around these places are all passed on, and the younger generation of Irish are not supporting them clubs anymore. Like, that's the problem, Johnny.
Indeed. So, but you're one of those guys that's always sort of in demand, because I think it's because possibly of your versatility, the number of instruments you can play, and it's not the fact that you can play them incredibly well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I done all my grades for piano. I can read music, I read from as a young fella, 7 years of age. I went and started doing my grades, and I can read music, so it's a big advantage, that would be, but I don't read music these days, of course I play by ear,
Right, that's incredible talent to be able to do that.
Well, it's good. It's about the only talent I have. I can't do nothing else,
Right. That's that is amazing stuff. It's but the thing about it is you can step into as the case may be, you can play so many instruments that you're going to be a huge asset for any act.
Oh yeah, as well as I sing harmony and I sing as well, so I understand your music situation. I've got experience behind me for that,
Indeed, so you've been doing it for a long, long time. You must find it strange since the onset of COVID and all the rest of it, John.
Oh yeah, it was a big shock. There was a big shock. Everything was going to a standstill within a few days in March last year. Just it was bang, that was it, finished. There's been nothing ever since. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a shock to the system, but what can you do? We'll have to see how it goes. Just
indeed,
I can't ever see it come back to the way it was before. Really, to tell the truth,
Indeed. It shall be a different scene. It's going to have to sort of everyone's going to have to try and rev up again and sort of try and get the act together when all of this is over.
Oh yeah, it's going to be hard for everybody. You know, I don't know. The old people are going to be afraid to come into clubs again. They're going to be afraid to come in. Like there's COVID still going to be around for a long time. I don't know. I'm not that well up on it, but I can't see it. Going away too soon. Can you?
Indeed, I think it'll take a little bit of time, but listen, fingers crossed for hopefully the not too distant future. By the way, today is your birthday, so a very, very happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, that's very nice of you.
Another year younger. Another year younger.
When you get to my age, you try to forget about birthdays because they're coming too quick, Jerry, you know.
I know the feeling, John. Listen, it's been lovely to chat to you. Well done on an incredible career. And listen, thanks for everything. Thanks for the music and the entertainment. And John, lovely to catch up with you again.
Thank you very much, Jerry. And it's nice to be on your show. I'll be listening to you like I always do. Okay. Thank you very much, Jerry. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Thank you.